Right, this is the second part of the drawing. We're just literally putting bits in as I go along. So what I've done is I've drawn the two ends in and two pieces for the chimney. Obviously there's a middle piece. That's the chimney back. That's the strips what we cut for the outside, and two pieces for the roof. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut out these pieces and show you where we go from there. Right, so what I've done now is I've drawn out the two pieces for the supports for the roof, which is those two. This is the piece for the chimney. Now the easiest way of drawing that, and why I do it like this, is because to get that roof angle and this piece, if you use the roof angle and cut this piece out for the side of the chimney separate, you've already got that angle. So that's why I do that piece. So I keep it all in one piece. I'll quickly cut it out and show you that one. The two roof pieces, I've done one slightly bigger than the other. The reason being is it overlaps like that. But rather than trying to mitre and things like that, we'll cut one slightly bigger. Obviously you can always trim these down if you feel as though it's necessary on your particular roof or my roof. We'll see that when I get to that part. But I'll do this, cut it out, and then we'll stick it together and I can show you where we are. Right, so this is I found the simplest way of doing this is I cut right across one of those, all the way through, turn it.
So that's like the apex of the roof?
Yeah, turn it and cut these two, and this one you can cut all the way through. And then you can just quickly follow down there to get that one, and the same with that one. So there's the two apex piece. Now this is the two pieces that you need for the chimney. Now if you cut these off now, I tend to make the chimney up in a solid block, all the four sides stuck together before I start putting the brickwork on, because it's very difficult to super glue and match the lines up. So if you do it in one go, I'll show you when I get them all glued together how much easier it is. That's one chimney stack. That's a bit of rubbish. Cut the other one out. That one. That's the other part. Then pieces of what we don't need. And then all we do then is literally trim this piece down. Now why we trim this is because it's got to fit inside. This one's a little bit more careful because you don't want to be cutting that piece off. So turn it round, don't go so far in. Cut your corner out with a straight blade, and the same with that one. And that is that piece to drop in there. Now we do a little cutout in here. As you can see, I put a cutout in it, a drawing. That's if you want an outside light, so you can take that out and wire a bulb in. So if you can move it across wherever you want to the centre of the door. It probably would be better if it was in the centre, but if you don't cut that out, you then got to cut it out as a separate time. So I think if it was me, I'd move it across a little bit more and just try and cut it there. And the same with the other one. Go all the way down with that one. That's the tricky one. And the same with that. And them 2 pieces are there. Now like I says, looking at that, that looks as though I've drawn that in the wrong place, so I will take it across 1/2 inch. Whip it up there. And cut that one out. And that'll centralise it more on the door. So, it's not something you can see. So it's easy enough to do. And same again there. Again, just free the corners off. And again, just take that piece out. So that is there. We've passed through that signal box back. As you can see, that one pops in there, like that. That one pops in there, like that. Always make sure you get the best fit and get the right way around what suits you better. That looks better to me. So you mark, I always mark them in, and obviously in on that one. And as you can see now, that cutout's just above that door. So you don't have to cut anything out of there, you just drill a hole in and put your light bulb outside. So you've got the light above the door. So now we've got our roof pieces. So what we're going to do now is, we put our roof pieces in, obviously. We'll measure what we want overlapping. Now I think a barge board would be 1/4 inch overlapping either side. So there you've got that. So if we do 1/4 inch on each end of these and make them 8 inches. I didn't cut these down purposely because I think it's easier to do things while you're actually working on it. Let's get a smaller square. There we are. That one. Keep everything as square as you possibly can. And the same with that. Cut that one off. And the same with that one. I tend to do it the cheating way. I tend to put them together, mark it, and then cut it. All this is, it's not actually the roof itself, this is the backing for the roof. So that's the two pieces. Now what you're doing is marking them out. So you've got that distance, so you want the distance in between is just over 6.5 on here. And just over 6.5 on there. So you've got to get the centre of that. If we've done it 8 inches, it's 4 inches. And then if you divide 6.5, bit of card, 6.5 divided by 2 is 3 1/4 plus a 16th. My maths work like that, unfortunately. So this one you would do 3 1/4 plus a 16th would be there, and the same there. 3 1/4, not 2 1/4. There, and then the same with that one. 3 1/4 plus a 16th would be there. Now it doesn't need to be absolutely tight, because that's the one thing you don't need, because if you make it too tight you're going to struggle to get the roof on and off. But if you keep it very slightly under, it works easier. So what I'll probably do is just drop them two boards slightly from the inside of that line, then I know they're going to be okay. Right, so I've marked them out. I pick one which is the thickest, and the thinnest, I use the thinnest first. So what I'll do is take these out, take that off, and because I'm going to do this one first, that needs to be the inside, so I'll go that way around, level it with the back of this Do you know what I mean? So that edge is touching the back. And then glue that on just inside. And that'll give you enough play just to get it back into the thing. I tend to leave the insides of the roofs white. I don't paint them or anything like that. A lot of people would. That's the way it wants to be. And the reason I don't do it, it shows up light better. So if you put lights in, you can see them. And it brightens up the cab. So if we put that just like that, again slightly inside of the line, just to give us some idea where we are. Square that up, so you're reasonable, and then I'll just activate that. Just give it a wipe. Right, and so what I've done now is I've stuck this on, and take that off. Right, so that now goes in. So that should fit with a little bit to spare. Like that. There we are. In fact, it should have been on the outside of the line. Sorry about that. It should be the other way. But it doesn't matter. What I'll have to do is put a little piece in either side. So the thing is, that's a mistake I've made. It should have been there, not the other way. I've done it at the wrong side of the line. The easiest way is just put a piece in here and line these up so they're there. Yeah, so what I should have done was gone on this side of the line. Easy mistake. Something you shouldn't be making because you've been told not to. Measure one side, don't fully glue it, just the one piece. Drop it so it's level at the top and level inside. So you get a nice clean finish on the top. Although we're covering it with tiles, the better it is, the better it stays there. So that's one part stuck on. And the same with that one. So now I'm going to just ease that off a little bit just so I can get some glue underneath here on that bit, and the same on there. So again, just make sure it's level at the top, make sure that's running smooth inside. Again, just press it on, and that's that piece. And then that's nice and level. I don't need to do anything with this. Don't need to move it apart. You glue it on the inside. A little bit of activator, and capillary action will take this through. So there we are, that's strad. So don't want it running all of it, dripping super glue, so we can dry that off. And as you can see, from here, take that bit off. There we are. That's the roof, that's the way it goes. Drop it in, and that's how it goes. Now, just make sure you've got a decent fit, because that's what I always check. I mean, obviously you're popping this on and you aren't quite sure how good a fit it is. That looks pretty reasonable. We don't overlap it here on the front because I always make it slightly short so I get a nice finish on this. So when you put yours on, it should look the same as that. What we do then is, when we put the tiles on, the tiles will overlap slightly on here, which are made out of plastic card, and the gutters there, so it covers all that up and you just see the edge of the tile, not this real big thick edge of a roof. And there we are, that's the roof on. This is the correction. It shouldn't have happened, but At least this way it cures it. Simple answer. Just for a couple of strips in there. Make sure they're not overlapping that bit at the bottom. Same with this one. Drop it in there. Like that. Just make sure you've no glue anywhere else. As simple as that. So you've done both ends exactly the same, and just pop it in, and then that should be a tighter fit, and then you've not got the movement on it. So now the next stage is to glue the chimney together to the size we need. No, I think we'll do the guttering, so I can show you how the gutterings go on before we put the roof tiles on. One, two, three, that's 4 pieces, and then what I'm going to do then is just go back in, measure an 1/8 and 3/8, an 1/8 and 3/8. So it's 3/8 in total, but the first 1/8 I'll do it at the other end so I keep it nice and straight. So the first 1/8 is there. Now what I do with that one, I don't cut that one, I literally scrap it. So I'm going to scrap it with the ordinary scraper, and then I'm going to scrap it with a thicker one, a blunter one. Just on that one edge. Then I go back to my 3/8 and cut that off. So there's one piece. And then back to the 1/8 again. Just scrap it with a thinner one. Like that, don't move. You put the thicker one in. And then that one you're just going to cut off. This is now your guttering. So what we do is, while we've got that edge like that, I tend to prop it on the edge of here. I don't know if Pat can get into that into focus. And then just round that edge off a little bit. Just like that, just a gentle rounding. Just so it's not square. And then that gives me a nice fancy finish to the bottom of the gutter. So that's one part, and then turn that round, take that off. I get a 3/8 one, not the one you've done with the groove, the one without. Take that off, and a 1/4 one, and this makes up the guttering. Very simple. I mean, people might be out there happy to buy proper guttering. Find proper guttering. It's not something I can find very easy, so it's not something I do. So what I tend now to just to make do, stick that one on the front. So that's the front bit. So I've stuck the 3/8 one on the top, the wider one. I'll seal it just because it's easier, and then just press that on. Make sure everything's nice and tight. That's the face of the gutter. Any super glue you got on your fingers, take it off. Next one is the thinner one, and believe you me, this is so quick it's unreal. Again, you're just literally dropping that on top of that one. So you're forming a gutter in the middle, and that's like that. That's it. And again, once it's in place, you've got it there. You can then now go on there again, just make sure that's all nice and neat and round from the bottom. You get your bit of sandpaper, tidy that up with a slightly lesser grade so it keeps it a bit smoother. Nothing, you know, sharp or anything like that. That's a rough one. This is a smooth one, as I put it. The backing is critical, as that's going against the actual and that's a gutter. All I've got to do, I mean, I tend to round this edge off a little bit, like that, and that cut to length just goes there like that. As simple as that. Obviously Pat likes to paint it beforehand. You've got to drop it just so you can get a towel over the top of it. Let me find something thin so I can show you what I mean. So when your towel comes off there, it wants to be just passing there into the gutter. Right, chimney. I don't do all the sides. I think it's easier to do one when we get this piece on. Line it up from the top so it's flush there, and then glue that on, and then do the same on the other side. Put the middle bit in. It is a little bit simpler than just to follow the line round. Now I've already pre-scored this one to me 1/4 inch, so my brickwork's there. I'll now just stick it on here. So stick this bit first to this one, making sure you line up at the top and it's overlapping at the bottom, because we need a brick extra when we get to the bottom to fill the gap in. So there's the first piece. Quite happy with that. That's that one. This is the second one. Again, line it up at the top so get yourself in the right direction like that. So with me it'd be that way around. Glue this piece onto here. This is where, if you can keep your cuts as straight as possible, it does make it a lot easier to be ending up a square. Not always get it right, and it's not something you can't overcome, but the better you can cut it, the better it is. Same again. Now just a little bit of just to keep it a bit more speed, like that, and that gives me that. So I can just pull them out slightly to get this one in. Again, working from the top, you get this one in so it's nice and level at there, like that. So you've got now the shape of a brick. Right, what I do the easiest way is I get it in, lined up in position first without gluing it, and then just dribble some glue down there, and the same on there. And if you spray it with an activator, it will run it all the way down, and that'll hold it. And the same on the other side. Make sure everything's square. Make sure you've got it all lined up nice and neat. And the same again. Just a little bit of glue on there so it just holds it. Give it a few seconds just to dry. That'll do for that one, and then at the bottom you probably found it's gone all the way down.
And it can stick to you.
Yeah, it can stick to you. And it's hot.
Is that because you put the activator on?
Yeah, it really is hot. And that's it, that's nice and dry. So tidy it all up. And same on the other side. So you've now got two sides done. The next job is to cut this one off parallel. So you're now going down there, following that line, because there is a brick line there. So you're taking it down that line, following the angle, till you get it that shape. Again, you can sand it off once you've got it in there. That's a bit of super glue, how fast it runs down when you do put that spray on. Check your angle like that so you can see that it's nice and level. Right, so what we've done is we've sanded it down, and you saw the lines already across, carried them across on both sides, then connected them up so they all line up in line. Then we marked out the brickwork, remembering to get your bricks to match up to each one individually. So long on that side, short on this, same again, so it does look like brick. I mean, what Pat will do next, well, she'll probably nibble bits out here and there, you know, to make it, give it a little bit of authenticity. But for us now, what I'm doing is I'm going to glue this on now, so it's there. We've got it marked out where it's going to be, and then we can glue it on and it's in place. So we don't glue this edge. This is not to be stuck on. The reason being is obviously it's the roof what's coming off, and it's attached to the roof. Now the other main thing for this is you must paint it prior to anything else. Before you stick them roof tiles on, this must be painted, because it's a heck of a job trying to paint around roof tiles. Pat actually fills it off with either concrete or lead flashing, whichever one she does at the time. But that works. This painted the same to match this, and that looks so much better. Obviously it's not a perfect fit, but I don't think anybody will criticise us for that. Because we kept the angle of that with the roof when we cut the roof, of course it comes up square as well. The next bit we've got is we've sprayed the gutters black. Then we just give them a coat of spray. So we've just black. We're quite happy with black. And all I'm going to do now is I've got that where I want it. I'm happy with that inside. Keep them level, and we'll glue these on. Now there would be a little gap here, but once I glue these on, that gap then disappears. So if I pop that in there, glue that on there, line it up to where we're quite happy with it. The same with that one, and then we push that one round. The same with that, remembering to keep this face to the front with that little bit of a groove in, just for a bit of decoration. Shouldn't really glue to the end, by the way, but because it does overlap slightly, so I'll take a little bit of that off. Again, where you want it in the realms of things, stick it in, glue it on, and we've got our chimney stack on. As simple as that. We'll go around to the front, take the other one off. Oops. Pat left this bit on so she could spray it. I'll just trim that off. Pat can easily touch that up later. Again, keeping it to the front. So we've got it there, line it up like that and stick it on. As simple as this. Keep your roof nice and tight. Keep that nice and tight. Just tidy them ends up because I'm terrible for sticking glue all over the place. Keep it nice and neat. And we're there. How's that? That's the next part completed.